Hi, I'm Elise and I'm an RTT therapist, and today I'm going to share with you 3 books which absolutely transformed my life. And I'm also going to be giving you 3 takeaways from those books that you can look at and take into your own life. So my first book would have to be The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I read this book, almost 7 or 8 years ago now. And it kind of like a punch in the face, basically. It's all about you're not the sum of your thoughts. I realised for years, after having kind of spirals of looping thoughts and anxiety, actually that wasn't me, that was just my thoughts. But it wasn't me. And so giving me that power and that understanding and reading that in that book was like, whoa, this is life-changing. And it absolutely was a turning point in my life from then on, because I started to see every day, when I started to think something, if I was thinking sort of a catastrophic thought or if I had a looping thought going on, I was seeing it as an observer. I wasn't just accepting it as me. So a really powerful, transformational book. And if you've not read it, you should really read it. His story, his individual story is fantastic. So good. But try and do that every day. Just take a moment where you kind of sit and just watch your thoughts. Watch them pass by, like you're sitting on the side of a motorway or a highway and you're watching the cars pass. Watch your thoughts pass and see actually that they're not you. They're part of you, but they're not you. Practicing that every day has absolutely set me free. Particularly set me free from anxiety, because I'm not associating myself with those anxious thoughts anymore. And then my second book would probably have to be Michael Singer's The Untethered Soul. It's all about relinquishing control. For example, maybe you've had a bad day, maybe you've had a run-in with a co-worker, they've got angry at you for something. You can't control that situation, you can't control how another person feels or reacts, but what you can control is how you react and respond to that. And that's in the moment, but also after that as well, because how many times have these things happened and then we come away thinking, I'm going to replay that over and over in my head. I should have said this, or I shouldn't have said that. I should have done this. We just replay it over and over and over. But what is that actually achieving? It's not achieving anything, is it? Because ultimately, it's just putting you back in that moment, which is now in the past, but you're bringing it into the present. You're making your body relive that moment. You're causing your body that stress and that pain and that worry again. For what? You can't go back in time and change it. None of us have control over anything apart from one thing. And that one thing is your own thoughts. So instead of trying to battle against the world and fight everything and try and control everything and control other people, let go. And again, be aware of your own thoughts, but don't be domineered or dominated by them. Just know that they're with you, but they're not you. And once you learn to kind of fall into the flow and stop trying to force things or change things, it really can transform your life. So stop trying to grab on to control. Understand that you can control your reactions, your own thoughts, but actually everything else, it's an illusion. So let it go. And my third one, I'm going to have to say this because actually this was a big turning point in my life. It was reading Ultimate Confidence by Marisa Peer. The reason this transformed my life was it came at exactly the right time. It was like the stars aligned. I'd been watching lots of her YouTube videos and I was really suffering with very, very low self-confidence and self-esteem after years of working in a highly pressurized work environment. It had just taken its toll on me, and actually I'd put on such a good front for such a long time that when that facade fell away, I didn't actually know who I was. And this book really helped me to rebuild myself and to learn who I was myself and to learn to love myself as well, because I'd never even thought about it like that. I'd always just had this little looping thought and this little voice in my head, my little critic, which told me I wasn't good enough, I was never going to achieve anything. Meanwhile, I'm reading the pages of this book and it's giving me exercises to do, and suddenly all these little exercises are actually getting me thinking about what I'm actually saying to myself and how I'm treating myself. And it massively boosted my confidence. It was such a huge turning point in my life. I've got to say, it's all about self-love, learning to love yourself, learning to know that you're enough. And that isn't an easy process, particularly, if you really struggle with this, if you kind of come from a place of you've grown up maybe with unsupportive parents who haven't given you the praise that you always wanted, haven't given you that support, it's very hard to kind of find that within you. And it's very easy for some people to sit there and say, yes, it all starts with self-love, but that can be a difficult process. This book, it really transformed me because it gave simple exercise and showed you how day to day, even something as simple as standing in the mirror and saying over and over the little affirmations, I am enough, I am enough. I wrote it on my mirror. In fact, I printed it out and I stuck it all around my house. My son's even got a copy in his bedroom and it's still there now. And I read that book 5 or 6 years ago and I still have those posters in my house because that message still remains. So keep saying those positive affirmations to yourself daily. Know that you're enough. Rewire your brain, because it's all about the power of repetition. So I hope you like my recommendations. I'd love it if you could share what books have transformed your life. Why don't you pop it into the comments, because I'd love to know what books you've really enjoyed reading, and share your takeaways from them as well. And I'll see you again next time. Take care.